What's up, you lovely lurkers? I'm Willy, and he's Scott. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk about the best of CES, the greatest life hacks of all time, some football, and glitter.
If you like our voices, you can find our faces on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, or storming the Brazilian Congress. Let's lurk!
Scott, can we start the show?
No,
We're into the show a little bit,
12
right?
seconds.
More than 7 seconds?
about
13 seconds? Okay.
yeah.
I say that because this is outside of the things we're going to discuss, the main stories. But did you know that YouTube has changed some of their policies?
It feels like all streaming platforms have changed them recently, but tell me more.
Well, this is going to affect our show in some ways. So if
Uh-oh.
you're Scott and I have always been unfiltered.
Fingers
we've been
crossed.
trying to get better at this.
Full nudity.
But some words.
Come on, YouTube.
YouTube is going to restrict videos that say things like fuck, cunt, shit,
It's going to restrict all those bleeps?
all of them. And we're going to have to deep dive into this once I learn a little bit more because I'm just learning about this today. But it's retroactive. So what YouTube is going to do is any content creator that has put out videos where there's an abnormal amount of swearing or cursing in the first 7 seconds of a video, it's going to be demonetized by YouTube. So they might be an ad, but the creator isn't going to get any money.
I saw a guy who was raging on about this, I think, but he said it was something like the first 13 seconds. So he just said, hey, followers, I'm going to tell you something in a couple seconds. And then he just sat there, and then he nodded his head at exactly 13 seconds and said, I don't get what the fuck is going on with demonetization and swearing. Like, I should be allowed to. Does this mean, like, they're trying to make it more kid-friendly, or just... what's the catalyst?
By the sounds of it, my assumption, though, is YouTube wants to create a more brand-forward and friendly platform. And what's the easiest way to do that? We are going to de-incentivize videos that are overly sexual, have gore, talk about challenging topics that might be top of mind, and they're going to suppress those things. What's the next step? Look towards national television, ABC, NBC, CBS, whatever it might be. You're not allowed to swear on those platforms. And YouTube has become that staple platform in households. And there must be enough money backing this decision, saying we don't really care about our creators. We care about our bottom line.
So, in order for us to adapt, improvise, and overcome, we must not swear anymore. We just say the word bleep.
That's a solution.
I noticed that, like, when we're editing the show, this is a little bit inside baseball for everybody that's listening, but even when we would swear and you would cover it up with a sound, dictation is picking up the actual swear word, and it is still putting it on the screen. It's not like giving it the censor thing. So even though we would go through the trouble of bleeping out every single bleep word, it would still be right there.
The transcription still says,
yeah,
damn fucking mother.
Tits, fart, turd, and twat. Yeah. All of those things. So
the beginning part of this show is going to be the worst for me to edit.
All right. I'm down for this challenge. I am here for it. If we have to swear, I'm just going to say bleep. Or I don't need you to orange me in the orange right now, okay? I just need you to oranging tell me the truth.
Let's get more explicit. I just need you to banana...
There we go. There we go. We talk in emoji.
Yep.
Get your eggplant away from my peach.
Last week I said, or 2 weeks ago I said, hey, my niece Annabelle watches this show. Well, YouTube, my niece Callie also watches this show. Special shout out to her and her friends. And if a teenager can listen to this show and not be offended by her uncle saying
dirty
banana hammock, how dare you? I'm the problem, aren't I?
Yeah, it's all you. right, let's get into the meat and potatoes and stop playing with our eggplants over here. This is my favorite time of year, Willie, because number one, the weather is changing so much that it causes me to vomit uncontrollably at any point in time. And number two, CES has happened. And would you mind briefing the audience who is unaware what CES is?
CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but it has been going on since the mid to late 60s, and it's gone just about every single year.
Yeah.
It's an annual trade show where it gives a lot of technology companies a chance to show off upcoming tech, show off ways that they're innovating within their lane. And Scott and I, two technology enthusiasts, this is maybe some of the most exciting things we see throughout the year, because it's really setting the stage for how the technology sphere, all of it, is moving forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that gets debuted that is conceptual and is a couple years away, but there's more things that are like, oh, this is coming out later this year. I was thinking we could just go through some of the cool and maybe weird, I don't know. We'll just have to decide, and you can decide based on what is at this annual conference. It's usually always in Las Vegas. I can neither confirm nor deny that it is usually at the same time as the AVN Awards, but where they go and look at the birds.
But the AVN Awards,
yeah,
those are real.
The AVN Awards, yeah. Now, Willie, you have an electric vehicle. Several were on display at this year's CES. Verge decided to give the Sony Honda Afeela the best car of its awards. What do you think about this thing? It looks really cool. I think the collaboration between these two companies is cool. I also think it looks like Bud. Like, it looks like a peach and not a very good one. It looks like a bar of soap after you've used it several times. It's kind of boring. Doesn't have the ridges on there anymore for your pleasure. It's just smooth.
Here's my thought on electric cars at the moment. We are in this new generation of vehicle manufacturing that has been, for all intents and purposes, stagnant since the 90s. The insides seem like they were all mass produced in the same place, whether you had a Honda, a Toyota, a Ford, or a Chevy. It didn't matter. You could have your brand loyalty, but ultimately, you and I think we did it at least once, but we would go to the auto show in Minnesota when it would come around in the spring, and you just sit in these mid-size SUVs, and they all feel the same.
They were the exact same. And somehow, Toyota was the most boring one.
Always. There's no reason these electric car companies or existing car companies can't say, now is a chance to rebrand. Now is a chance to move something forward. So if Sony wants to come out in partnership with Honda and create this like weird, innovative concept, I'm all for it, because I think it challenges the current status.
Agreed. The Volkswagen ID.7 that I mentioned at the show is covered in color-changing panels. So literally the car can be anything. And we'll talk about that.
Didn't they have a car do that a couple years ago, too?
Yeah, I think last year it was black and gray, but this year it is like all colors of the rainbow. BMW came out with a full color-changing car that actually has its own AI built into it called D.
Oh?
Yeah.
Are we close to the point where if you can have a color changing car like this that can change with patterns and look and feel, I think it is reasonable to assume that in our lifetime, you could have the first car actually manufactured that could have real driving camo. There's enough damn cameras around these cars to where it could have like invisibility mode. And obviously it would be turned off unless for, say, like law enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
Or a James Bond movie.
I think we talked about this last year, that the very first e-ink car that's going to come out is going to get hacked and have bananas put all over it. Bananas and cherries. But now with the color thing, and based on what you said, that just gave me an idea for how nefarious it could be. You could program it so that the cameras in the car reflect the opposite side to make it invisible. And I can just see the accidents happening. I can already see. All right. This year, according to The Verge, the best beauty tech was a prototype lipstick applicator that's designed to help people with limited mobility. It's called the L'Oreal Hapta, and it kind of looks like a gimbal with the lipstick on it. And I just think it's amazing that accessibility is getting called out in this way at this giant show.
Do you think that there is something to be said negatively about technology companies or clothing companies coming out with something that is designed intentionally for inclusion and accessibility becoming mainstream? I'm thinking of like Nike's, there's a line of shoes that is meant for accessibility, so they like pop open at the heels, so
you can just slide your foot in. Yeah.
This to me reads something similar, that there might be convenience for a wider audience, and then therefore the people who actually need it for accessibility reasons won't have access.
My hope is that it's designed specifically in this way, and it's probably going to be priced at a certain way that only the people who need it will be going after it. I can't see somebody who's fully able necessarily wanting to use this. It's not meant necessarily to make it better for a fully abled person. You can still have more control, fine motor control with your hand, and put lipstick on that way. I did see something that it's a printer for your eyebrow makeup. You just kind of like slide it over your brow, and it will spray paint. I don't know what technology it uses exactly. Perfect eyebrows.
Are you saying I need this?
No, I think you've got good brows.
Thank you.
But they could probably stand to be threaded at least once.
Okay.
One of the coolest things from this year's CES show that I find amazing, but could be exploitive if used in the wrong way, is a wearable from German Bionic called the Apogee Exosuit. It was
showed like one of those sex suits from the Amazon TV show Upload.
You know, I mean, it's only going to be made for commercial use at first, so I don't know unless somebody gets access to a warehouse how they're going to make those movies. But basically, it is an exosuit that you'll be able to put on your torso, not your torso, your trunk, so right around the waist and legs, and it can offset lifting 66 pounds from your lower back.
That's cool.
Yeah. People that work and need to lift or just have chronic back pain will eventually be able to just become Iron Man.
Dude, I'll finally be able to lift your mom.
I lift your mom just fine, so
okay, hold on.
Sorry, Willy's nieces. I'm so sorry. Willy, have you ever thought, man, that burger or pizza or sizzling steak on television looks so good. I wish I could taste it right now.
Are we going to straight past smell-o-vision to taste-o-vision?
Nope, we're going straight to virtual smell machine, because something called OVR technology created a wearable that produces scents to match the views from smartphones, tablets, or computers. So people who are into those fart videos, this one's going to be for you.
Okay, so this is something that I'm very excited about.
Oh, no.
I think that there is potential for something to provide smell, but, and here's that right there, but there has to be a filter that, like, it's the same way that YouTube bleeps out.
Oh, there's a filter, all right, but it's tech, so it's hackable.
Do they have the thing inside to do it? Like, maybe it's not hackable to the point of being able to, like, actually output nasty smells, because those compounds aren't in there.
I think some biochemistry major is just going to be like selling the illegal packs. Here's the full spectrum packs. First place I'm going is to Bernie Bot's Every Flavor Beans website and just seeing if it works. And what I think could be the biggest disruptor from this year's CES is a little puck, a small, tiny white sphere that some fetish people are just going to be all over, literally. It's made by Withings, which is known for their scales and health trackers. It is called the U-Scan, and it is an at-home urinary lab that you put in your toilet. Just giving guys another target to aim on at the end of the day.
It's so weird. I mean, it's not...
No, don't yuck like the yum. Don't yuck the yum.
You'd expect that this would be something that would come out for...
Oh, it's not
April
for that.
Fools.
It's not for that. It's for
but it's
urine.
Not. There is a place. We need to normalize monitoring our body's health. Look at what Scott went through this week. Maybe all you needed, man, was a pee scanner.
I mean, I don't know. There's just certain colors that come out of your body where you're like, yeah, that's not normal. I'm going to go to the doctor. This is to make sure, like, I don't know, all that stuff that when it looks the same, that, hey, maybe you should get some more water. Or maybe your iron's a little low. The thing that worries me the most about this is that eventually you're going to pee on this thing. It's going to be like, hey, you're pregnant. Or you're going to pee on it.
And then you get a message on your phone that's like, buy diapers.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm worried about. It's like, hey, you're low on iron. Here's the latest supplement coupon for...
Right.
So you got to be careful about these things.
In a lot of ways, some of these technologies are built, I think, so that their renewable revenue is from the data that they can then broker to the highest bidder.
Yeah, which is sad. We like tech, and we're still going to continue to like tech. And hopefully we just don't have to get super mad at it every single year while trying to enjoy all the cool innovation.
Well, Scott, I was browsing TikTok, like I'm known to do, and I ran across this video that was highlighting an article from the New York Times. And it says the greatest life hacks in the world. For now, obviously. I just want to highlight some of what the New York Times has filtered down to say are the greatest life hacks ever.
Of all time. These are the GOAT life
of all
hacks.
Time. Yep. When you have a large project and you've completed 90% of it, those final details are going to take the same amount as that first 90%.
Oh, so for me, it won't take anything because I let my partner handle everything.
Got it. Speaking of, anything you say before the word but doesn't count.
What about big?
Thank you. Denying or deflecting a compliment is rude. Accept it with a thanks.
Always. That should make both of you feel better. Yeah.
It's weird. I'm not good at accepting a compliment.
Willy,
if somebody... yeah?
Your facial hair is looking very nice.
Hey, go fork yourself. Thank you. I was told that it's starting to make me look like Chris Evans at the beginning of Infinity War in the train scene. Like the dark one.
Willy, your facial hair isn't looking that nice. I hope somewhere on the list telling the truth is also on there.
Okay, this one's a little tough to hear, but I know people out there are listening or watching. Getting cheated occasionally is a small price to pay for trusting the best in everyone. Because when you trust the best in others, they will treat you the best.
Does that mean you live your life with like a little bit of guardedness?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean?
The point here is I think you go into relationships where you're opening yourself up to somebody, not with the fear that somebody might be cheating. That you don't go in almost your full body in, but just one toe out. Don't go in with that apprehension. Go in and trust and love, because that's what you're going to then get in return. If you fully invest, you will get that in return.
That's a good one. I like it.
Purchase a tourist guidebook for your own hometown, because you'll probably learn a lot playing tourist once a year.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Do they sell tourist books from Minneapolis?
I'm sure there's a website,
They must, right?
Yeah.
This one says, the thing that made you weird as a kid could make you great as an adult.
I mean, my ADD has kind of helped me make this show, so sure. Yeah. I suppose I agree with that.
It's not an apology if it comes with an excuse.
Now, listen, I don't want to sound like a racist, but...
That's the but, see?
Yeah. I see now. I see. It's a big butt.
Now, I think in 2023, this makes a lot of sense because we hold on to so much. This says just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man. If you had learned that, Uncle Ben would still be with us.
Too soon?
No, too soon is Aunt May. Spoiler.
Oh. Scott, I think you gave me this one all the time, not just once, just this is your mantra. Ignore what they're thinking of you because they are not thinking of you.
Exactly. I live my life by that meme from Mad Men. Two guys in the elevator, one's Don Draper, the other is some dude who looks like a very young Oscar Isaac, and he says, "You big bads up in marketing must think we're like pieces of crap or something." Don Draper just simply responds with, "I don't think of you at all." That's how you should live your life. Don't worry.
Yeah, I like it. I remember once when I was just learning how a razor works, and my sister was like, "Dude, you have a unibrow. You need to get rid of that." And I like shaved a little and then shaved a little and was like, "Oops, got a little off," and then shaved a little, and then I was like, "Oops, got a little too much," and then shaved a little, and then inevitably I was like, "I shaved a lot. Oh God." And I went to school terrified, thinking everybody's staring, everybody notices, and nobody ever said a thing.
You would have benefited from that 3D eyebrow printer.
Scott, I think this one is for you in particular. Something does not need to be perfect to be wonderful, especially weddings.
Thank you. I needed that.
The biggest lie that we tell ourselves is, I don't need to write this down because I will remember it.
Ooh. I was thinking of something else, like...
Now, this list can go on and on and on, and I want to share this for anybody else who's listening to this show who maybe like are just starting those relationships and they're thinking like, maybe I found the one. Maybe I'm with that person that is going to be the last one. Marriage is a 50-year conversation. Marry someone you want to talk with for the rest of your life.
It's a good one. It's a good one. For some, I love monogamy, and I love the fact that I'm going to be spending my life with this one person, and this is going to be my partner. But I also recognize that it's not for everybody. There are people that have tried it 1, 3, 7 times, and it doesn't work out. And it's probably because they're not just being true to themselves and saying, like, I am not in it for the long haul because I don't want to be. And there's no rule that you ever have to get married. There's no rule that you have to enter the, I guess, law of marriage. You can just be with somebody for however long you want to be and then say, like, listen, we had a good run. Now I want to try and find somebody else. There's tons of different relationship styles and avenues that are still being explored. And so let's just make sure we acknowledge that while if you're going to go into marriage for the right reasons, this is probably the way to go based on some beliefs, but also acknowledge the fact that others might not see it the same way.
All right, fine. The last one I have is you can always tell someone to go to hell tomorrow.
Willie, this week has been an incredible sports week, and part of me wishes we had Jason on the show just to talk about that. Maybe in the future, we could just have like a sports show, and we could have Jason on all the time.
Maybe we should.
Maybe. Let's think about that. Let's write that down. Actually, write it down.
Write that down.
Write that down. And
Okay.
yeah, we'll circle back to that one. Stay tuned. If you're into football whatsoever, now is the best time of the year. For some. Some people have been eliminated from the playoffs. Some teams have lost.
Yep.
Like Jason's Lions. But they certainly played, spoiler alert, to the Vikings' biggest rivals, the Packers. Now, I don't know if you heard, but last week there was a terrifying moment for one player in particular, and then subsequently the community at large. But a Buffalo Bills player took a weird hit. His name was Damar Hamlin. If you didn't read about it in the news,
where have you been? I understand sports are not for everybody, but still.
But it transcended sports. That's how big of a deal it was. But essentially, it was a regular football play. He tried to tackle somebody, stood up, and almost immediately collapsed. And it turns out that his heart was hit with enough force at just the right time to cause it to go into cardiac arrest. Whole bunch of stuff played out, like people talking about should the game be restarted, people talking about should the game be forfeited, like all this stuff happened. Inevitably, football had to continue on, and here we are this next weekend, right before the playoffs. So the Bills played, and as you would expect, everybody's wearing patches for Damar. There's things on the field with number 3. Everybody is there to kind of like win this game, do it for him. The very first play, Willy, on kickoff, is returned for a touchdown. It has been described as a spiritual storybook play. Like, you couldn't have scripted it better. And then it happened again in the same game. A longer kickoff was returned for a touchdown. As you can imagine, the community and Damar, who is thankfully back in Buffalo in the hospital but recovering nicely, are just going nuts and just elated. And I just feel so good for him and for the community that I guess things went the way of the Bills. Here's what I want to bring up is the playoff picture is lined up, and I'm just going to have you pick some teams because you playing Jason this week. You are the football expert.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I'm just going to throw out some names. You have to tell me what city they're from and who's going to win.
Oh, my God.
All right.
This is what sport are we?
We are in the NFL right now. Okay.
Okay.
Wild card happening Saturday, January 14th. It is the Seahawks from
Seattle
versus the 49ers from
San Francisco. Oh, it's just like right on top of each other.
That's right. Who's your pick?
Seahawks.
All right.
But I would live in Seattle. I wouldn't live in San Francisco. And are the 49ers actually that good this year? Or
they're pretty good. Their quarterback right now is on fire. But the Seahawks
he's
quarterback,
on fire?
He is. He's literally on fire. It's going to be in they're going to be
How
playing.
was that not covered?
I know. The Seahawks quarterback also threw for the most yards in Seattle football history too, so it should be a good showdown. So you're picking Seattle. Okay. Next we have the Chargers.
Cincinnati
Bengals. Chargers.
Nope. That's not right. It's a mid one, right?
It's a big one.
It's in the middle.
It's not in the mid. It's on the coast. It's near the 49ers, 400 miles away.
L.A.?
Yeah, the L.A. Chargers.
Oh, when did they become L.A.?
A couple years back. They moved from San Diego.
Still wrong. Okay, good.
Versus,
I feel dumb.
Versus the Jaguars.
Tennessee.
On the other coast.
Titans. Oh, God.
It's in the eggplant of the United States. Starts
Tampa
with
Bay?
It's close to Tampa Bay. Every single eggplant team made it in this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. First time in a long time.
Miami
is the Dan Marino
Dolphins. I hate this so much. Oh my God! Why do I not know this? I'm gonna have to do research on
Duval.
this. Oh,
Duval. Do you know? Did you ever watch The Good Place?
Yeah, I watched The Good Place.
Blake Bortles plays for Jason's favorite team. No, it's Jacksonville. Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville Jaguars versus the LA Chargers. Who's
Yeah,
gonna win?
but you said it was in the dangly part of the United States. Jacksonville is in Florida.
Sorry, I had something in my throat. Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh. I always thought Jacksonville was in Mississippi.
Okay.
Boy, God, I am not.
There might be a Jacksonville, Mississippi, too. I don't know. So who's gonna win?
Which one? Oh, what two? I'm sorry, that took 20 minutes to figure that out.
The Chargers versus the Jaguars.
Jaguars.
All right. Sunday the 15th, we have the Dolphins from
Miami
versus the Bills from
Buffalo.
There we go.
New York.
That's right. Who's gonna win?
Buffalo.
Of course. I think that should be. They're playing for the Super Bowl for tomorrow. Now, local favorite, Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings.
Versus the Giants.
New York.
Correct. Who are you going to pick?
I don't know any of the scores. I would like to think that the Vikings would make it past this first round, but I am the truest of Minnesota sports fan, and I know that our run ended this week.
All right. I mean, we already beat the Giants once. It's hard to beat a team twice.
Especially for a Minnesota team.
Now we have the Ravens from Baltimore versus the Bengals. We got to keep this going. From
the Bengals?
The Bengals? You said it earlier.
I said this earlier?
You thought this.
I'm trying to cheat. I'm looking at the logo. I have no idea.
You thought the Seahawks played there. That's the first guess.
No, I said Seattle for the Seahawks.
You said Cincinnati Bengals, like one of the first
guesses. Oh,
guesses.
Cincinnati. Got it.
My jaw hurts from laughing so much. So
there's people listening to this who are either appalled or love it.
Yeah. I hope it's the latter. Ravens Bengals. Who you got?
Ravens. I like Ravens.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. And finally, Monday, January 16th. How about them Cowboys?
The Cowboys are playing from Dallas?
From Dallas versus the Brady-led Buccaneers. You already said it once. It's one of those Mississippi teams you named earlier.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay. That's right. Who you got?
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys. And there you have it, ladies and
root for my
gentlemen.
dad.
Oh, my gosh. I was going to do something kind of fun and special for the national college game, but, like, what color do you like better, red or purple? Purple. Okay, Willy's picking the TCU Horned Frogs. All hail Hypnotoad.
I have no idea what words you just said to me right now. Oh man, I feel like I've just gone through something, man.
Oh, I don't know if anything we just went through was in those life hacks, but maybe you could just refer back to that list.
Okay, so just to sum this up, Jaguars. I don't know why I said it so weird. Ravens, Bills, Cowboys, Giants, and Seahawks are all moving forward.
We are not a show about financial advice, but if you wanted to place bets, that's Willy's picks. And I
need to know yours. You're the one who knows this.
Oh.
How off am I from you?
I was going to pick 49ers, Vikings, because I'm a homer, the Bengals, and I'm going to go with the Buccaneers for upset. I'm going to go with Chargers over Jags and Bills over Dolphins.
We agreed on one, the Bills. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like,
did I say
I'm
the
not
Bills
good at
twice?
this. No.
Okay. I thought I did for some reason. I don't know why I didn't read it in order.
Oh, God. Well, Scott, here's the deal, man. Sports are always a controversial subject, but I think I have one that's more controversial.
Are we going to talk about politics?
No, we're going to talk about glitter.
Gary Glitter?
I don't know who that is.
Do you know the NHL song? Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
That's Gary Glitter.
Oh,
I
there's
know.
a controversy surrounding him. We're not going to dive into that right now. I'm not focused on that. But in case somebody's native language isn't English and they've never heard the word glitter, what is that? What do you think glitter is?
Off the top of my head, it's a bunch of really small pieces of plastic or paper and something that is used as a confetti or something that's used as a decoration for crafts, things that you want to make shiny, catch light, really small angles. Did I get it right?
Sure, I think you're probably pretty close. I want to expedite your learning process and get you to the point of being able to watch this TikTok video. Let me sum this up for you. The controversy goes like this. There is a company known as GlitterX in New Jersey. They're one of the largest glitter making companies in the world.
Wow.
And I'm not sure that this has become apparent to anybody, but when you start to get up to like the highest level of manufacturing, there's not a lot of companies that make things. So you might think, oh, there's a million little brands that sell types of glitter, but no. And the way in which it's made is incredibly secretive, and it's very suspicious.
It's Soylent Glitter X.
But why? Why is it why is it so secretive?
There's probably some proprietary manufacturing process that they've held on to since the beginning of time, and they've got an agreement with this other glitter company that, hey, we'll do this together, and we're not going to let anybody else. Because has there ever been a time where you've needed to get glitter and you couldn't find it? Do you ever recall reading about the worldwide glitter shortage of 1987? No, you can't. You can't.
But you're starting to touch on something. Where is glitter in everyday items? You might find it in things like credit cards. You might find it in fishing bait. It seems harmless.
But it's everywhere.
But GlitterX, Scott, is withholding something. The answer to this question. It's a pretty innocent question, but there was an interview conducted with one of the representatives from GlitterX named Miss Dyer, who was asked, who is your biggest buyer?
Is their last initial E? Miss Diary? Because that's a fake name.
When asked if she knew the answer, she replied, oh, God, yes. Followed by what was probably a little bit of nervous laughter, and then said, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that.
Hold up. This is like the KFC original 11 herbs and spices, the Coke brand.
But it runs deep. This is the conspiracy theory to break all conspiracy theories. What is glitter in that the people don't want you to know?
If we just looked at random everyday items, like you were saying, fishing lures have glitter in them. Credit cards, I have that sparkle stuff. Certain things that are made out of plastic that you put inside you probably have glitter in them.
Is there a big market for that? Is this the biggest buyer of glitter? The thing that would make you go, what the actual frog town?
NFL helmets have glitter. Goalie masks.
Why is that controversial? We know that glitter's in that. We know glitter's in car paint or boat
car paint? Yeah.
No, this is something that they don't want you to know. So
The thing,
I know you're...
The worst thing that I know it's in is the air. Because, I mean, if you've ever just seen a glitter bomb, like all those people that steal packages and get their comeuppance from that one really cool dude, it doesn't just go on the ground. It probably goes into the water. And so it's on land, sea, and air. And we're probably breathing in microplastics, which are glitter.
I need you to direct your eyes and ears to this video. And let me just set this up by stating that I may have opened up a can of worms for some of our audience. This may or may not bring you down a rabbit hole of never finding an answer and constantly questioning everything.
Focus on these two, currency and countertop. I was tagged in this TikTok story about this counterfeiter who was amazing, Arthur J. Williams Jr. And he was really fabulous at making the notes, and one of the things that was really perplexing him was the color changing $100 bill. the ink on it, right? But then one day he saw a car. There was a color changing car, and he was like, "Whoa, that paint looks just like the one from Colorado."
Chameleon car.
Right, the chameleon car. So he called up the paint manufacturer, and it turns out they actually make the paint for the U.S. Treasury. So
Of course they told him that.
it was, right? So it's that paint. And we all know there's a lot of glitter in automobile paint. We already know that, right?
Yeah.
So I did look up chameleon car paint, and the flakes are actually constructed of aluminum. And as we know, glitter is plastic that's been aluminized. Now, I don't think that totally rules it out, because I do think they could probably figure out how to make it work with glitter too, and if that would be cheaper. And so I'm not totally ruling this one out. Quartz countertops. Quartz rocks, they ground them down to a powder, and then they press it using vibration and pressure into countertops that look like real natural stone. But it's not natural stone, it's engineered, and it's actually only 90% of the quartz stone. 10% are these additives. It's polyester resin and other additives. And everywhere I looked, it just said other additives. And sometimes it would say polymer additives.
Polymer is plastic.
It's plastic.
Polymer's plastic.
So I think it is fair to assume, based on this video, that the two leading theories that we have today as a glitter community, are the glitzies, is that it's either money, it's just in money, and the U.S., the big state, they don't want us to know.
That's where all of our money is going. That's why we're in debt. Forget the military budget. There is a big redacted article that is just like $1 trillion for glitter.
GlitterX, wealthiest company in the world. George Soros works for that company.
George Soros owns glitter. Oh, that's probably bad. That's probably going to get us demonetized. We shouldn't say that.
But we will get to the bottom of this. If you have a theory, if you think it's something that is not obvious, that the company wouldn't want you to know, just tell us everywhere. Tell us in all the places.
We want you to glitter bomb our socials with your theories on why and what glitter is being used for.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Find more of us on our socials, and we'll see you next week.